I'm Neil, and I'm the teacher.
And I'm Sean, and I'm the deal maker. Together,
We're the Rise Guys.
Closing day is 2 weeks out. The real property report is missing. The buyer's lawyer is already asking questions. Everyone is waiting for you to fix it. Today, I am showing you exactly how agents navigate a deal that is on the edge. Let me give you the scenario Neil walked through. Conditions have been waived. The deal is firm. 2 weeks to closing. The buyer's lawyer calls and asks a simple question. Where is the real property report? The seller tells you one was done years ago. They are sure of it, but nobody can find the documentation. Here's what that means in practice. A real property report shows the property boundaries and structures, and it needs municipal compliance certification. Without a valid compliant report, the buyer has a legal right to terminate the contract or to seek damages. And the deal is firm on paper, but it is wobbling in reality. And you are the agent in the middle who has to solve it. This is not a theoretical exam scenario. It is the kind of thing that happens in real transactions, and the agents who handle it well are the ones who already know the playbook. Before you can understand the crisis, you need to understand the framework that controls it. The contract has two kinds of obligations, terms and conditions. Terms are mutual, written commitments between the parties. They do not expire, and they cannot be changed without a signed written amendment from both sides. The possession date is a term. The chattels included in the sale are a term. A price adjustment is a term. You need both signatures and a written amendment to move any of it. Conditions are different. A condition is a time-sensitive, specific action. Financing approval, a satisfactory home inspection, a strata document review. Conditions must be completed and formally waived in writing by a deadline stated in the contract. If they are not waived in time, the contract does not survive, it collapses. In our scenario, the conditions have already been waived. And that means both parties are legally bound, and the missing RPR is now a problem inside a firm contract, not a problem that can be solved by simply walking away. Here's the resolution path Neil outlined. First, your client needs a real estate lawyer, and they need one immediately. You cannot advise on legal rights, but you absolutely need to flag the issue and push the client toward legal counsel right away. The lawyer will confirm what the buyer can and cannot do and what the seller is legally obligated to deliver. That conversation needs to happen before anything else moves. Second, you investigate whether a rush real property report is possible. Get on the phone with a licensed surveyor. Explain the timeline and find out whether the survey and the municipal compliance certification can be completed before the closing date. If they can, that is your resolution. If compliance turns out to be an issue, maybe there is an encroachment or a structure that violates setback rules, then the parties need to negotiate a price adjustment, an extension, or another remedy. But that negotiation cannot happen productively until everyone knows exactly what they're dealing with. Move fast, involve the right people, and keep all parties informed at every step. Let me walk you through the full offer to waiver workflow so you have the context around the crisis scenario. Once an offer is accepted, the condition clock starts. Both sides have agreed on price and terms, but conditions create a window where either party can still exit. During that window, the agent manages the condition timelines. Financing approval, home inspections, strata document reviews. If a problem emerges during the condition period, say a defect shows up in an inspection or access to the property is restricted, those issues get resolved through written amendments. Nothing verbal, nothing by text, nothing informal, written, signed, and attached to the contract. At the condition deadline, the conditions are either waived in writing or the deal collapses. Once they are waived, both parties are legally bound. If the terms take over and govern everything between waiver and closing. The missing RPR scenario happens inside that firm phase, which is exactly why the stakes are so high. Neil made a standing recommendation that is worth writing down. Read your purchase and sale contracts every week, not once during your licensing course, not once when you take on a new transaction. Every week for at least 1 full year. The reason is straightforward. Contract fluency is a skill built through repetition. When you know the contract well, you notice when something is missing before the other side's lawyer does, and you recognize a problem during the condition window, not 2 weeks before closing. You can explain the situation to your client in plain language without second guessing yourself. And you know which issues require an immediate call to a lawyer and which ones you can handle directly. That confidence is not something you can fake in a crisis. You either have it because you built it through consistent practice or you do not. Weekly review is how you build it. Here is the takeaway. The agents who handle closing crises well are not the luckiest ones in the room. They are the ones who built their contract fluency before anything went wrong. Know the difference between a term and a condition before you need to explain it under pressure. Know that conditions must be waived in writing by the deadline with no exceptions. Know that once a deal is firm, both parties are bound, which means a missing real property report is not a negotiating point anymore. It is a legal obligation. If you spot a potential compliance issue during the condition window, raise it there. That is where you still have room to maneuver. Do not let it become a closing crisis. And if the crisis does arrive anyway, move fast, get your client to a lawyer, investigate the rush survey fix, and keep everyone informed at every step. Deals that feel like they are falling apart often survive when the agent moves quickly and knows the right steps. That is the show for this week. I will see you in the next one. New webinar summary every week. Subscribe so you never miss one.